So I call on the General Secretary to present the annual report.
Thank you very much, Margaret. President, Conference, Dave Penman, General Secretary, moving the annual report. Colleagues, I stand before you a humble and proud man, humbled by your faith in my leadership of the Union and re-election for another 5-year term. Being General Secretary is a wonderful, fulfilling and yes at times challenging job. But it's a job though that's easy to get motivated and enthusiastic about, representing the dedicated public servants who make up our membership, seeing the incredible work that you do on behalf of our country and feeling passionate about defending you and the values you represent when they're under attack. Proud because of what we have achieved together. The fastest growing trade union in the country. I never get tired of saying that. 75% growth over the last decade, whilst others have stagnated or declined. No other union comes close. That is no accident. We have grown because we are strong. We are strong because we are pragmatic, constructive, engaging, and relentlessly focused on delivering for our members. Results, not rhetoric. We know how challenging it is to lead public services because it is our members who do it. That is why our default is to work in partnership with government and employers to help deliver better outcomes for members and better public services for the country. We are problem solvers, agents of change and thought leaders. A report published earlier this year, Adopt, Innovate, Transform, focused on how employers need to engage with public servants to deliver the real opportunities that artificial intelligence can unlock. It is the perfect example of that thought leadership. Unlocking the potential for artificial intelligence to make public services more human. It epitomises how we think about the world of work and the vital public services our members deliver. We are partners with employers and government because that drives better results, and we are nothing if we are not in the results business. But being a strong trade union is also about standing up for our members and their values when they're under attack. When I walked into the Foreign Affairs Committee hearing last month with Sir Ollie Robbins and sat behind him, I did so because I was there supporting a member. And whilst images of the man beside me in the cravat and the RMT badge may well have gone viral, every civil servant who watched that evidence session saw that the FDA quite literally has your back. They saw that Sir Ollie, or any other civil servant that needs a strong union to support them, can rely on the FDA. No FDA member is ever alone to face the unthinkable when that happens. That's what being an FDA member means. And every government, employer, minister and Prime Minister also knows it. We speak out on their behalf, on behalf of the service that cannot publicly defend itself. 3 years ago, from this very rostrum, David Gauke, a former Conservative Cabinet Minister, was asked if there should be an independent body to speak out publicly to defend the civil service. His answer was, that's what the FDA does. We do it when individuals are scapegoated or thrown under the bus, or the service has been undermined, whether from within government or out with. We will defend civil servants and civil service values whenever they are under attack, from whichever party or media outlet. That hard-earned reputation should be one of our proudest achievements. And it's not just about this government or Westminster. So whether it's Holyrood, Stormont or the Senate, we're the go-to advocates to defend the civil service. From the political attacks on hybrid working to blaming the civil service for the failures of political institutions in Stormont, an administration that cannot even agree a budget when it is in session. We're the only union that represents civil servants in all of the nations of the UK. Over the last decade, we have opened offices in Edinburgh, Cardiff and Belfast, and we are continuing to invest in our support for members in devolved governments, all of which are showing record membership growth. But any trade union should not just be about trying to stop the bad things happening. We should also be about improving the working lives of our members. Right now, with this UK government, it feels a bit like Partick Thistle in the Championship playoffs. Stay with me, conference. After Tuesday night's 1-1 draw away at Dunfermline, and I'm sure I'm not the only one in this room thinking about this, we could be on the brink of a breakthrough. Years of hard work, with many false dawns, but the promise of better things to come within our grasp. I was asked by a minister a couple of weeks ago what our main priorities were. Pay, I explained, was the key to unlocking so many issues within the civil service, ensuring we can recruit, retain and motivate the workforce. After nearly 3 decades, the current system is on life support, but we need bold ideas and bold ministers to make change happen. But like Thistle's performance on Tuesday, dogged, relentless, with the sleeves rolled up for the hard graft, FDA has been driving the agenda in departments, nations and with the Cabinet Office. The UK government has made some good decisions, ending the imbalance between the rest of the public service and the civil service on the annual pay rounds and honouring the pay review body recommendations. On SES pay, we are showing what true partnership means, co-creating solutions to decades-long problems, working with the Cabinet Office and the Senior Salaries Review Body to make real progress, which we hope this year will really start to bear fruit. The SSRB, under the leadership of the Chair, Lee Patterson, have demonstrated the value of an independent, evidence-based review body. They understand the challenges every bit of the public sector faces when it comes to pay reform. But they are focused on delivering long-term strategy as well as addressing short-term pressures. The result is that they are setting the agenda for pay reform across the service, not just the SCS. So my plea to the Minister was urgent pay reform, an end to the cycle of political interference that has blighted civil service pay for those 3 decades, and a strengthened independent pay review body for the whole of the civil service. But it's not just on pay that we are making progress. We've negotiated to increase the maternity pay in Scotland and Northern Ireland, with the Scottish Government also increasing paid paternity, fostering carers leave. Our incredible learning offer, with over 11,000 learners annually, making us the 2nd biggest learning provider in the civil service. Or the Public Sector Development and Mentoring Scheme, one of our proudest achievements, a scheme that targets undergraduates from over 30 universities, existing civil servants, and from last year, even refugees, providing mentoring and support to apply for the Fast Stream and the Tax Specialist programme. We match those with existing fast streamers who get mentoring experience, and our success rate for those that apply are 4 times the national average. Our work targeting a more socially, economically diverse group is good for members, it's good for those undergraduates, and good for the public sector, helping to level the playing field for graduate scheme entry. Our new agreement on facility time is focused on providing more resource for branch reps, not to go to a conference at the seaside, but to better support members in the workplace. Standing up for members, supporting careers and delivering real outcomes. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us strong. And that's why we are the fastest growing union in the country. Conference, as I stand here with political turmoil once again engulfing a government, it feels very much like déjà vu. Perhaps that's just the nature of politics now. And of course, we're seeing similar forces play out across the globe. There are issues that no government can be isolated from, but there are also self-inflicted wounds. Last September, barely a year after being elected and following the resignation of just one cabinet minister, the ensuing reshuffle meant over 50% of ministers either left government or changed. Delivery is what we are told is the key focus of this government. But talk to any civil servant and they will tell you that to get things done, you need ministers who know their brief and can make effective decisions. Ministerial merry-go-rounds hamper delivery and slow progress. But political instability is not the only issue. In February, after months of briefings against the then Cabinet Secretary, Chris Wormold, his removal of office was being briefed to the press while he sat at his desk. Barely 12 months after being appointed, the inevitable happened. I said at the time that if the Cabinet Secretary can be undermined and removed like that by the Prime Minister, then no one is safe. I didn't realise at the time that I was in the fortune-telling business. In April, 4 hours after the story hits the Guardian website, number 10 are briefing that the Permanent Under-Secretary at the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office has lost the confidence of the Prime Minister. In subsequent briefings and publications, the characterisation that the government were keen to promote of a failed vetting overturned by FCDO was not only factually incorrect, but was also a deliberate attempt to cast doubt over the decision. Suddenly, the Mandelson appointment became a question of Sir Ollie Robins' judgment rather than the Prime Minister. Sir Ollie's evidence session laid all of this bare. He remained accountable for his decisions and fiercely defended the values and system that helps keep our country and citizens safe at home and abroad. His evidence to the committee showed a committed, passionate public servant. The contrast with the spectacle of the previous day in the House of Commons could not have been more stark. In his message to the civil servants last week, clearly in response to those events, the Prime Minister said, and I will try not to do the voice, at the Cabinet meeting a fortnight ago, I spoke with my colleagues about the vital importance of the partnership between politicians and officials. We are one team, he said. I value speaking truth to power. That is the hallmark of our system. As you can imagine, there was quite a response to those words, because it's the Prime Minister's actions, not his words, that will leave an indelible mark on the most senior leaders in the civil service. Who now will feel they will not be thrown under the bus if it serves a narrow political agenda? What is so disappointing is that we have been here before. Many in this government may smart at being compared to the worst of the Johnson era, but I'm sorry to tell them that the cap fits. This government and this Prime Minister, a former senior civil servant, promised to be different. Plausible deniability on briefings against civil servants is utterly meaningless when it's obvious to everyone, even as the old saying goes, the dogs in the street, that they are emanating from number 10. It is what you do, Prime Minister, not what you say, that matters. And it does matter. A government in a hurry to deliver, urging civil servants to be risk takers, should understand that governing is a joint enterprise. Risk will only be taken if risk is shared. Trust is required for good, effective and agile government. But I'm afraid that trust is in short supply. It is, of course, recoverable. Ironically, what became clear through the evidence session over the Mandelson affair was a civil service delivering exactly what the Prime Minister wanted at extraordinary pace. That's what civil servants do. That's why everyone in this room has chosen to be a civil servant, to serve the public and the elected government of the day, whatever their political colour. And as is being demonstrated in Wales as we speak, helping to prepare for the first transition between governments, all for the public good. An impartial, permanent civil service providing the best evidence-based advice and then delivering when ministers decide. So to this government and any future one, I say that harnessing the incredible talent, energy, experience and expertise of the civil service should be easy, not difficult. It requires exactly what the Prime Minister said in his message, a partnership built on trust. Conference, I move.